Hey guys, on a different thread we were talking about how to separate a patch to have certain switches, or what the ES8 refers to as numbers, have certain numbers bring up loops instead of a new patch. And I'm going to show you how I approach that. As you can see right now, I'm on a patch that has reverb and an analog delay. And as you can see, I have red tape with some P-touch lettering on top of it. Each one of those red tape switches or LED spots is going to have something that corresponds with it. At the moment, you can see right over here, my first control switch is what I always have bringing or doing something with one of my modulation units. So this is the M5 in this case. And that brings it in and out. And when I hit it, it follows the loop, activates it, and I have it assigned to bring up an LED and turn it red. And that gets a little tricky too, which I'll get into. It's not hard to make it happen, but it gets funky when you go into manual mode and start selecting things differently. So anyway, I'll get to that in just a second. So that's one way that you can do it, is you can use external switches. I also have a second one over here that activates my delay. So as you can see, the DD50 has its own little LED. When I hit this one, that's just off screen, and I'm not going to try to move this because it's on a stand. The same thing happens here. So control, for me, 3 and 4 are activating my M5 and my delay. And then number 7 and number 8 are going to be activating loops that have my overdrives or distortions on it. The BE standing for brown eye overdrive. So when I hit number 7, instead of it pulling up a different patch, it's actually activating a loop. And then same thing with 8. When I hit number 8, it is bringing up the LG, the looking glass overdrive, the DOD pedal. So I kind of have it split right now. I don't need more than really 5 patches per any of the songs that I play with any of the bands. So this is kind of my standard template, and I do small modifications from there based on all of this. So one, as you go through them, different things will pull up different things. I have all this running to MIDI up to the M5 and the DD500. You just can't see them on screen at the moment. So let's go to my menu, and I'll talk about exactly what I'm doing here. I wanted to use number 7 and number 8 and also number 6 as not bringing up patches but actual assignments. So something you want to do is within this control menu, you want to select the numbers that you're going to not recall patches with, hit enter, and turn the function off. It generally is going to default to your patch number. But I've done that to 6, 7, and 8, and that's all right there within the control menu. I'm hoping you guys can see this, but I want to stay back just enough to show you all the button things that are happening as I go. So the first thing you want to do is hit your control menu, which from any patch you can hit edit and scroll left and right until you find what you're looking for. Hit enter to pull into the control command section. And so one of the cool new things about the update is that I have control 1, which is off here to the left, a standard assignment. So I don't need to waste an assignment on just having channel switching on my amp going on. I have control 1 set to do that. Now that would be a whole different video, but that's one way of doing something that's simple and not having to use an assignment. So control 1, you can assign that within the control sections. Let's move over here. All the other ones I basically I'm using assigns. So let's look at my first assign. My first one is current number, CNUM, which when I hit it, turns on my FB, my fat boost, which is for me post gain. It's in my loop, and it will make any patch a lead patch just at the push of that patch's button. So you do that by assigning on and selecting your sources being CNUM, and then for me I use toggle because I don't want to have to sit there and hold a button down while I solo. And then as you scroll over, you see that the category is loop, meaning loop selection. And for me, my fat boost is in loop 6. I even P-touched the pedals just to help me remember when I was first setting this up, and I haven't taken them off because it's so handy. Loop 6, and I have it set so that it comes in the off position when I default to the patch, and when I touch it, it will go to on. And basically, to make this LED follow that, as well as doing the loop, that's my next assignment, assignment 2. You can see I have that switch as current number toggle as well, just like I would do with the loop. And you have the category be LED, and I have bank up set as the target. You can make any one of them become red. For me, I don't use the bank up and down switches for anything other than bank up and down, and I just use that as documentation for which loop is on. As you can see, you can even do it within that menu. Let's see here. Bank LED assigned to bank up, and same thing, off on. None of that is needed there. So you can kind of follow suit as you go. Assignment 3 for me would be Control 3, LED. I guess I kind of did this one in a different order than I did the last one. But as you can see, the source is Control 3, which would be this little guy here for me. I'm in toggle, and that's the LED, and that's my bank down one, so it means that my M5 loop is what it's following, which is right here, Control 3, toggling in my M5. I know you can use MIDI to run it outside of the loop and all that, but I like moving my M5 around because it has a wah, has a phaser, has choruses, verbs. I like that in different places. I don't want to commit to that at the end of anything. So same kind of thing though. Now the tricky part here, and where I see people getting confused, is you make your assignments, but you'll make your assignments not in the state that you actually want the ES8 to be in. Like, let's say I'm in manual mode right now, and it'll get real confusing if I try to get too far into it. But basically, my M5, here I am in manual mode, it's in loop 8, so I can be truly stereo with it if I want. It's here active. If I start touching things, I'm going to start activating those LEDs. So my assignments are going to kind of make that a little wonky. Fortunately, I come right out of memory mode. It goes right back to where I want. But what I was saying about writing it within that state, I know I want my M5 on, which means I want my LED on. So if I'm going to use this as a template, I would write everything off in the template and then make your moves from where you want it. Like if I want this to just be an overdrive patch, I make sure that I have my LED lit for that and I have my overdrive on before I even try to save it. And that would just be making sure that they're both in the same state. Loop off, LED off at the same time. Don't turn the loop on, but the LED off and vice versa. That gets confusing, especially if you switch back and forth to manual mode and create your patches. You want to kind of make sure that they're synced together before you start using it as a template. So the best thing to do in that situation, turn everything off, hit, let's say you're starting from this. I love this patch and I want to use it somewhere else. So I'm going to, instead of hitting memory manual and going back to it and reverting, I'm going to hold it down for a second. And it's putting me into quick edit mode. So if I hit it again, it's going to give me where I want to save it. So I can go to any one of my patches where I know I don't have anything. Let's just say for right now I go to 73-1 because I'm pretty sure that I don't have anything there right now. So I hit enter, and I hit enter again. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. You can hit that again, and it just does it all right there for you. So now I'm in an area where I haven't saved anything. So here I am in my completely blank patch. But as you can see, I have all my loops off. But look at that. I have an LED on showing me my M5 is on, and I have my looking glass LED on. Even though they're not on any loops. You can see here manual mode again. I'm in red, manual mode. None of my loops are on. So what I want to then do, because I realize I'm in a backward state here, I want to go ahead and just turn them on. I want to turn on my M5 loop, which is going to be 8, and I want to turn on my looking glass, which is 4. So I've done anything that doesn't have red tape behind it shows me that that's also the corresponding loop. So now I can do another memory manual hold, quick edit, tap it, and there it is saved in the way I want it. So just, if you follow me there, now I have 2 loops that I activated by hitting those. Now let's say I don't want to have to go back and do an LED right this way or right that way. I can now undo them this way. I can now do that and that. My control assignment for my looking glass overdrive is right there. I just turned it off at the loop and the LED source, and I can turn it off there. Now quick right. There it is. And now I'm in that state. So I don't want to come back over here and turn a bunch of stuff on and then save it, because then those LEDs are going to be not aligned either. I try to do my best making my moves for my patch according to this. So again, to break it down, I'm using a lot of assignments, and when I get kind of picky with the patch, I'll start to change those assignments. Like if I start to do P MIDI moves, I know that I'm just going to end up having the delay on and the M5 on, and I go ahead and make control 3 and 4 P MIDI moves. I can show you that real quick. Just to give you an example, I don't always commit to that, but the default move is that for me. So here I am in a spot where I call it wah phaser P MIDI. If I hit this, instead of it turning this M5 loop on, which it looks like I wrote that template wrong. Look at that, I did. So here I am at a spot where I don't want this a certain way, and that's not much I can do about it at the moment without going in and writing an LED move, because right now these two are actually swapping the P MIDI on that M5 right there. So I'm going to end the video here soon because this is all going to go out of focus. But you can see I have P MIDI assignments written here to move that. That's a video I already have on my page here if you want to check that out. But that's the exact patch I was using for that video. I know this was a little bit long. I'm at almost like 12 minutes. Hopefully you can pause and rewind. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message. You can even find me on Facebook on the FB user, the ES8 users group. And that's actually who I specifically made this video for. I hope it has found you. Hope you have found it helpful. Blah blah blah.